Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Paul Rogers, Chef Paul Rogers, and today I thought it would be really cool if I showed people how to clean a tenderloin, a whole tenderloin. Now there's several ways to do this. I have been taught how to do it several different ways. And depending on where you're cooking and where you're cooking it for, you might leave a little extra fat on there, or you might completely take all the fat off. The main thing about cleaning the tenderloin is you want to make sure that all the silver skin is gone. So, depending on where you're getting your meats from, you're going to get, they're going to come in different sizes. Maybe they'll come loose. We get ours are cryovac, and we get pismos. That means that the side muscle is still connected to the tenderloin. So of course you're going to take it out of the bag. Now, when you get it out of the bag, this is what your tenderloin is going to look like. Okay, now one thing that I was taught, and I'm going to turn this around, is that you can actually start with your finger, taking the fat off and separating that side muscle. Some people cut it off. I prefer to do it this way because it's less waste. At some point I will have to pick up my knife, and this whole side muscle piece right here, that lip that is right here, is what I'm tearing off. This also exposes the connective tissue where you're going to cut. I like to leave as much of the head on the tenderloin as possible, and you can continue to pull away the fat. Be careful not to rip the meat, or you can cut it. Again, this is the way that I was taught in culinary school. The fat you can save, you can render it down. It takes a long process, which is why no one does it. But you can render it down, or you can just discard it. It's easy just to get rid of it. Side muscle pieces like this, you can clean, and you can use them in dishes like stews. You can grind it up. Once you get it clean and all the connective tissues out of it, you can even grind it up into burgers. However, that's a long process. That's why no one does it. All right. Again, just grabbing some of the fat off. On the tail, you'll see a lot of fat, big, large, fatty pieces. And the thing about when you're cleaning a tenderloin, and what was intimidating to me when I was in culinary school, it was like, how much am I going to be cutting and throwing away? Because this is a pretty expensive piece of meat. Don't worry about that, okay? Because the waste is something that is going to be expected. Now, once you get all the fat off, or as much as you can, you're going to see silver skin like this. What this is the actual connective tissue, and you have to take that off because you can't digest it, and it makes the meat curl and do all sorts of crazy things. So what I just did there, and I'm going to show you again, is you're going to take your knife, and I would suggest a bony knife, and you're just going to go inside just at the top of the silver skin, and I'm going to adjust my camera. Sorry about that. And you're going to pick it up and just cut it off. You want to get as much, if not all, of that silver skin off of your tenderloin. Throw that away. You may have to flip it and do it again. Believe it or not, I once worked with a chef that told me that wouldn't let us throw the silver skin away, and he would try to grind it up and use it in the hamburgers, and his hamburgers were awful. Pretty much everywhere you see white, you want to, or light pink, you want white or light pink, you're going to take it off. Okay, now that's most of the silver skin. What I'm going to work on now is taking some of this fat off. This is where you're going to lose a lot of the meat. But it's okay, because people who buy tenderloin, they don't want a lot of fat. You gotta keep that in mind. Your job is to make this as clean as possible. One thing real quick, you'll have these little, I call them little meat and fat knuckles. Go ahead and trim them off. Right here at the head, I call it the head of the tenderloin. This is where you're going to get your Chateaubriand cuts. There's going to be a big lump of fat right there and some more connective tissue. Go ahead and take care of that. All this connective tissue right here. Take that off. All this fat. If you're new at this, I would suggest that you wear a cutting glove. Because you don't want to cut your hand. Anywhere there where you see that silver skin, like I said before, it's going to be all in the head. All this fat and silver skin right here, cut it off. Because the people, when they order their fillets, when they order their petit filet mignon, their Chateaubriand, they don't want to see a lot of fat on there. They don't want to see any silver skin. So don't be afraid to cut some of that meat off with the fat. You're not wasting the product. You're actually making a better product for your guest. That's one of the biggest things that new cooks have to get over. Yes, there's going to be a lot of waste. However, you're actually making the product better. I'm going kind of fast because I'm videotaping and I'm at work. Okay. Stuff like this can be rendered. If it doesn't have any silver skin in it, it can be ground up into hamburger. Now, I can and I will go further, but this is going to be too long to do that. So again, that's pretty much basically how you're going to clean. All this will be coming off once I stop the video. And now I'll make sure that all the fat and all the silver skin is off of the tenderloin. But what I wanted to show you is the difference between the end product and the beginning product. This is something that we can work with once I get all the fat off of it. And this is what you're starting off with. Okay, I didn't want this to be a long video, so that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Peace out.